didn't want to say anything right away in the beginning because I wanted you to hear the birds and how beautiful of a day it is today. It's almost 80 degrees and feels awesome. Feels awesome. So I wanted you guys to just take that in for a minute. But today we're going to talk about gooseberry bushes. Now, gooseberries are in the, they're related to currants, and I found a bunch of them growing wild out in Colorado. Now, the gooseberries that I have grown here, I've got some green ones that are from like Russia area. I'd say like Western China, and then I've got a Japanese variety, a Hinomaki red. Now, the ones that I found out grow the best are the Russian ones. I guess maybe they like it a little bit more warmer. The Hinomaki red they don't grow as fast, they're not as productive. And here's some of the rows that I've got. And this is on the far end, that's my property line right there. And this is one of the pear trees that I have that got messed up pretty bad by the deer. If you guys remember, this is one of the trees that got chewed all the way around. I was lucky enough to have a nice little replacement growing it's actually above the graft, so we're pretty good on that. So if this guy doesn't make it, I've got a replacement right here, and obviously a little deer came and nibbed that off right there, but it's growing good. So far so good, but yeah, look at the blossoms on here. Little native bees and everything, so it's fantastic. Looks really good. All the trees that got messed up by the deer are recovering, and I could show you an apple tree right here. This is a Granny Smith apple. I don't have any replacements on that guy right there, but you can see they ringed it, and it's surviving with half of it. And I'm hoping that somewhere in here, down in here, there'll be another little guy. Otherwise, I'll have to replace this with a new tree, which I don't want to do, but I'm just kind of letting it go. I mean, I've got so many trees. I've tried to protect it since then with the netting, and some autumn olive, and nice big peach, a little peach right there, and my ADD's kicking in, guys. This is what I wanted to do the video about. Now this is, I'm trying to remember, Pixwell. This is a Pixwell gooseberry, and I planted this one, I'd probably say, it wasn't last spring, but it was the spring before that. So about 2 years ago, it was just a little guy growing way down here. You can kind of see the original growth right there. And it was just a little guy like this, and already it's about 3 feet tall right here. And things don't mess with the gooseberries. That's why I love it. I don't have to protect them. They've got little thorns on them, if you can see that right there. And I have noticed, though, that the deer will come and prune it for me. They just nibble off the tips. And I've got another one I can show you that all of them have that, which is okay, because they're naturally making these guys bush out more, which is cool with me. So let me show you some more. Here. I planted this one right about the same time. And I think gooseberries and currants, depending on where you live, these Pixwell gooseberries do great in the south, but I'm sure they do great up north on the East Coast, anywhere in Minnesota, any of that stuff. There's actually native varieties that you can find out in the wild and bring a little seedling home and see how they do in your yard also too. Because that's what I do with a lot of the native stuff that's around here, pawpaws and spicebush and wild plums and you name it. Here's one. And you can see the deer took the little tips off of each one of these. Here, sorry about the wind. All of them. But that's okay. I mean, look at this guy. It's got some good growth to it. And I've got some more spread out in different parts of the yard. And in the little nursery over here, I've got a bunch of them too. So I'm going to show you those real quick. I thought I had some over here though. Okay, here's one of the smaller ones. This one I planted last year, and it was also just a little nub that I got from the nursery for about $8. And you can see it. It's about half the size of the other ones. But what's nice is even at this size, they'll fruit. Those big ones over there, they'll have some fruit on them here in the next few months. And I'll update you guys on that. Yeah, let me see if I can find some more. Alright, before I get to that, I want to show you, here's one of the little spots I have in the little nursery where there's a bunch of wild seedlings, a little seedling nursery. And I planted 2 little pots of rhubarb here, and they didn't do too good the first year. And I was like, oh, check it out. I got some rhubarb. They're all hiding underneath. Let me uncover these guys so we get some good sunlight. Yeah. So I've got some rhubarb growing here, guys. That's pretty cool. And the rhubarb, you use the juicy sweet red stalks. They're really sweet and sour. More sour, I guess. Add a bunch of sugar to them. And yep, I planted 2 of them. I planted one here and one here. And that wasn't last summer. That was probably the summer before that. And already coming out of wintertime, they're looking pretty good. You know, I wasn't here last summer, so they might have even done pretty good even last summer. I just didn't know it. Cool. And of course, right next to the rhubarb, there is some praying mantis cocoons. 1, 2, and 3. I'm actually going to stick this. It kind of came loose. I'm going to stick it right back down there with the other ones. There we go. Nice. Alright, here's another gooseberry I got. I put this one in last year. And this was a mulberry that I planted, and they're right next to each other, but stuff will eat the mulberry, so I tried to cover this up. But this will be cool. Once this mulberry tree gets up, maybe this gooseberry will kind of protect the base of it, and nothing will mess with it then, you know, because stuff doesn't really like the thorns of these gooseberries, so we'll see. And here's a Nanking Cherry. These are just awesome. It's the first time that my Nanking really flowered like this. There was a few flowers on them, but not like that. So I'm definitely going to get some fruit on these this year, I'm pretty sure. That's cool. This one's about maybe 4.5 feet tall. And here's another gooseberry bush. Here's another Nanking. This one's a little bit bigger. This one's about 5 feet tall. A little bit bushier. A little bit bigger. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait to get some fruit off these because I've never actually tried a Nanking fruit. And they really like growing here. So that's really good. Alright, now here's one of the Hinomaki Red. And you can see that I planted this the same time I planted those 2 big Pixwell gooseberries, and you can see it's a variety that is probably more suited for another place, and it's not even as full and green, but that's why you plant different varieties. And I've got some bigger ones over here. Let me see if I can find them. Alright, we're going to finish it up with this one. I've got a few more that I just kind of have to look for, but this here is actually one of the red ones also, but it's a little bit more fuller. You can see it's not as tall and straight up as the other one. It's a little bit more squat, and you can see what the bush looks like. But I'm showing you guys this because it's one of the first things to green up. A lot of the trees are just now starting to flower. The plums have already flowered. The peaches are flowering again, which is kind of cool. And the bees are loving it. You can see all the little bugs and bees and everything flying around. There's a hum. So we'll probably get some good peaches this year. We'll see. So thanks for watching, guys. It's just an update on me using gooseberries, different varieties of gooseberries as understory bushes in between all my fruit trees. So y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one.